Should the Jets be interested in Brandin Cooks? Let's try to answer that question. Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary, back with another video, and today I'll be talking about Brandin Cooks. Before we get started today, I just wanted to mention that you can follow on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. If you haven't already, please make sure to check out the Just Jets podcast and the Patreon. Matt O'Leary NY on Patreon. You get bonus New York Jets content like Mock Draft Mondays, player cards, analytics, write-ups, all that fun stuff. It's a ton of fun. Check it out. Let me make this abundantly clear at the top. I would much rather the New York Jets pursue either DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, someone like that. Even though the likelihood of AJ Brown is not very high, DK Metcalf, I don't know if the Jets would be able to trade for him due to past trade history with Seattle and the New York Jets. Maybe Seattle doesn't want to answer the phone anymore because Joe Douglas fleeced them last time. But what about Brandin Cooks? And I know that's not necessarily a sexy option, but it's an intriguing one. So let me give you some information. He's 29 years old. He has 1 year remaining at $12.5 million. That's what he's owed, $12.5 million. Now, when people are talking about their top receivers list, he's not someone who usually comes up, but he's been honestly pretty consistent throughout his entire career. Last year with Tyrod Taylor and Davis Mills as a starting quarterback, he went for 90 catches, 1,037 yards, and 6 touchdowns. He's gone over 1,000 yards in 6 of his last 7 seasons. He's been productive with the Saints, in his 1 year in New England, in his couple years with the Rams, and now in Houston. That's 4 locations of having at least an 1,000-yard season. So he's versatile. He's been able to do it in all different kinds of offenses. And we know, what do we know? That LaFleur comes from, or at least his brother, comes from the same coaching tree that Kyle Shanahan does, obviously, and that Sean McVay comes from. So the offense isn't really going to be all that different from what he was used to in some past stops where he's played, like more specifically with the Rams, but he could hang in this offense. And I think he gives the Jets something that they don't really have, which is consistency at the wide receiver position. The guy plays. He's played 14 plus games every year he's been in the league, except for his rookie season. And he's like solid. Is he phenomenal? No, but I think this is someone who's giving you steady 1,000-yard seasons year over year over year with shoddy quarterback play last year. The Houston Texans offense was the worst offense in football, and he still put up an 1,000-yard receiving season. The Jets haven't had an 1,000-yard receiver since 2015. So I don't think Jet fans should be so quick to just say, Brandin Cooks, he's not a top 10 wide receiver. We can't possibly trade for him. You need to have someone a little bit better than that. I think we're sleeping on Brandin Cooks' ability here a little bit. This guy is fast. Coming out of college, he ran a 4.33 40-yard dash. He's a former team captain. He has good hands, and he's a pretty good route runner too, from what I've seen watching him. And what I also see when I watch him is he just always tends to be open down the field, and the Jets clearly don't really have a deep threat on their roster. Elijah Moore is fast, obviously. Braxton Berrios has some pretty good speed. Denzel Mims, like him or not, has good speed, but they don't really have that guy who could be like a true burner and getting down the field. Well, Brandin Cooks, you watch his highlight tape from last year, all you see is the guy getting open 15, 20 yards down the field, and with Zach Wilson's arm, he should be able to get it out to him. And I also think that he has the capability with his speed to do some of the crossing patterns, to do some of the underneath stuff that comes in this West Coast style of offense. So I think for the potential asking price, which supposedly is a 2nd-round pick, that's not terrible. Or even if it ends up, maybe it doesn't become a 2nd-round pick. What if it's a 3rd-round pick? Something like that. I'd be comfortable with giving up a 2nd-round pick for Brandin Cooks, even at this point in his career. He's still under 30 years old. He's still giving you 1,000 yards every single year. What's not to like? Like, if you're trading for AJ Brown, obviously that is someone who you're going to have to give up many more assets for that. Same with DK Metcalf, and then you're going to have to give him a monster contract. You're not going to have to give a monster deal to Brandin Cooks. You let this year play out. If you want to re-sign him, great. If not, well, then you can potentially move on. I don't know. Again, is Brandin, am I going to sit here today and tell you that Brandin Cooks is my favorite option for the New York Jets? No, I don't think I could possibly do that. I don't think he's my favorite option, but is he a bad option? Not really. And if the Jets decided to go this way, it would be hard for me to find fault with it because of the consistency that he's brought at this level, how he would be a fit, the dynamicness of his game when he would, be brought in here and have that speed element and that potential threat down the field. It's interesting. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Should the New York Jets be interested in Brandin Cooks? Or on social media, you can let me know too. Subscribe here if you are new. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll talk to you next time.